Hello everyone, Dimi with Brizy here, and in this video I'll show you how you can leverage the templating feature that comes with Brizy to create a blog listing and also a blog post article and how to stylize it and create something of your own. So let's get started. What I have here is I've set it up a bit. We have a basic website here. I've created a couple of pages. It has a global header and a global footer, as you can see here. And what we'll want to do is add a blog in the menu and then create templates for the blog listing and for the article details. Let's go to the dashboard. I'll walk you through a bit on my setup here. I have a couple of posts, some dummy content on different categories. The theme I'm using is the Brizy Starter theme. You can download this from our website. It's basically a stripped to the bones, optimized for speed theme that we've created and we use, but you can use one of our partners. We have a nice list of recommended themes that work with Brizy flawlessly, so you can go on our website on brizy.io and pick one from there. On the plugin side, you'll see that I have Brizy Pro installed, so this is a must. You'll need to have a Brizy Pro license to use the templating features and the dynamic part of WordPress in Brizy. So you'll need the Brizy Pro for this. If you don't have it and are interested in purchasing it, go to our website and get a license. And that's about it. First thing that we'll need to do is go to appearance menus and add the blog in our main menu. So I'll choose the blog category here and add it in our main menu. And next, let's go to Brizy templates and start creating our templates. I already have two here. I've done some testing and did some designs beforehand, but we'll start from scratch and we'll build everything from zero. Right, so we are creating a blog listing. These display conditions are very important. You'll need to, what you'll select here is where is this template applied, right? You'll include it. We wanted to include it on categories because this is a blog category where we'll apply the template. And we can select a specific category. For example, if you'll want to build different templates for different categories, that's perfectly fine. You'll select here, I don't know, you'll have a template for development section and maybe a different design, a different template for the design section and things like that. But for convenience, I'll just select all, and don't forget to click the add so the condition is applied. I'll publish this template. And then we'll basically go to the good stuff and edit the template with Brizy. As you can see, the basic blank canvas is loaded. So what we'll do now, we'll actually build how the blog listing will we want to display. So first things first, what we need to do is add our header and our footer, but not from this section, from the blocks section, but from the global block sections. I have the header and footer saved here. If you want to know how to create these global headers and footers, we have touched on that, and I link to that video on the comments. So we add the header. This is a global header, as you can see from here, from this icon. And I also add our global footer. So we have the header and footer. And now we'll start creating the blog listing. Let's go with a hero section here. I'll go with this last one. What do we want to say here? Welcome to our blog. We'll touch on this button a bit later, and then we'll want the blog listing. Let's go with a blank block. And in this block, we'll add a dynamic element that you can find in Brizy Pro, and that is called the archive element. Archives. This element is a special one because you will not find it anywhere else, but only when you create templates. We'll drag this on the page. And this element comes with different elements like images, as you can see here, post title, post excerpt, a button. Let's touch a bit on the dynamic part of WordPress. What these dynamic elements are basically, these elements bring part from WordPress, like featured image, like post titles or post excerpt or author images and things like that. So basically any image you have can be transformed in a dynamic element from this icon. So if we would have a normal image, a basic image, you can upload here an image, for example. But we don't want that because we want these listings, these images to be loaded from the specific posts, right? So we want them to be dynamic images. We'll select this as a featured image. And these are basically our posts. As you can see, they're only placeholders for now, but we are working to change that and to introduce a new way of building dynamic content in Brizy. Actually, in our last update, we've introduced a couple of elements and we are testing how this works. As you can see here, we have a post title element. So for example, if we drag this on the page, this will bring an actual title from the blog post we've created. And the same goes for excerpts. So let's put the excerpts here as well. I'll delete this and this. As you can see, if you click here, you can't edit the text because these are the actual titles from the blog post you create in WordPress. We also have a read more button that goes with a dynamic link to the post URL. We can delete this if we want, or in fact, let's actually delete this and put this link on the title. So basically, we don't have a link now, but we'll link the title to the post URL. And why not? Let's link the image as well. So when users and visitors of your blog click the image or the title, it will go to more details. Post URL. Okay. As you can see, we have only a row with 3 posts, but who has a blog with only 3 posts, right, on their main blog? So from the archives element, we can select how many columns and rows. Let's keep it on 3 and maybe add, I don't know, 3 or 4. Let's go with 3 rows. So we'll have 9 in total. I think we need a bit to adjust the spacing between the posts, just to let them breathe a bit. That's fine. Okay, so this is basically the main gist of it. Let's update it. If we go to our website, we'll see the new element, the new blog item here in the menu. If we go to the blog, you'll see that that the new template we've created applies here on the blog listing. So here are your actual blog posts with featured images, and if we click the titles or the image, it will go to the post details, and we'll create a template for that in just a minute. Let me show you some tricks on how you can use the dynamic content from WordPress to display it in Brizy and create some nice things. Okay, so let's say you want to, for example, to add an author, right? You want to add on each post here in the listing the author and maybe the date when this post was created. What we'll do is add a text element, a simple text element, and we'll say something like buy. And this is important. We've created a way to let you add dynamic text basically in a sentence. So if you press the hashtag, this drop down will appear, and from here you can select what dynamic content you want from WordPress, right? So what do we want? We want the author name. So by author name on, again, hashtag. What do we want? We want the post date. So by author name on post date. Let's update it. And if we go to the home page, onto the blog category page and hit a refresh, we should get the author and the date dynamically. Let's say now that you'll want to maybe add a category, right? We have visitors that come to our main blog page, and we maybe will want to add all the categories from your blog. You have the blog separated in different categories, and you want to let the users jump between categories. What we'll want to do to add that, we'll want to go back to the WordPress admin and go to appearance menus. Create a new menu, right? We'll create a new menu called creatively blog categories. And add all our categories in this new menu we've created. I'll just save it. So we have all the blog categories here. And then we'll go back to Brizy templates. And on our blog listing that we've just created, we'll edit it with Brizy. And guess what? We'll add a menu element that will bring all categories here. So basically, we'll let our users jump between our blog categories. But let me, professional deficiency, I can't help but make this look a bit nicer. So let's put some space between the items here. Maybe play a bit with the fonts, a bit larger, and maybe you know what, let's add a separator, a line, sorry about this, a line as well, so we can separate this menu a bit. I'll remove the default margins so we can have the separators a bit closer, and maybe do the lines with a lower opacity, just to let the menu pop up a bit more and not the separators. So here we go. We have our new categories menu. I'll just save it. And let's preview it. I'll hit a refresh. These are our new blog categories that we've just added. And of course, because we've included the display condition for this template to apply to all categories, when you will select a new category, you'll see that only the posts from that category will be displayed, because we are now in the development category or freebies and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. Let's say now that you want to put something dynamic here in the header, right? So you for example, when you go to development category, you don't want to say welcome to our blog, right? So you need something to let your users know that they are on the development category. So how you'll do this, and this is very easy, how you'll do this, we'll use that hashtag, if you remember I've told you earlier. You'll put something here like welcome to our hashtag, and select archive title. The archive title is basically in this case, the category title. And after that you'll put maybe welcome to our archive title section, right? Section. Let me see, and I'll just move the padding here a bit, so we have the text on a single line, and hit save, and we'll see how that looks on the front end. Actually, before we do that, let me just show you that you can also modify the colors here as well. So basically, if we want to put this, let's try this purple, just to give it to pop up a bit more. I refresh on the home on the front end. Because we are in the development section and development category of your blog, it displays development here, but when we choose freebies, for example, it will be welcome to our freebies sections. And you can play with some very interesting and creative ways with this hashtag feature that will let you display the different parts of the WordPress dynamic content into Brizy. That's about it with the template for our listing. Let's go on and now create a template for our actual blog post. Okay, I'll go to the dashboard on the templates and start a new template. We'll call this article details. Of course, we'll want to include, don't forget, this is important because we've encountered this a couple of times. If you don't include this, add a condition where the template will be included, you'll encounter all sorts of problems because you will not have a template for your blog post. So we want to include this on posts, and of course I'll select all again, so you can see it did the job now. We'll publish it. And of course, we'll go again with edit with Brizy. And basically, we'll need to create our template for the blog article. So we have the new canvas again. We'll start from scratch. Let's go with a hero again. Let's pick a different one this time. I don't know, maybe something light like this. What I've just realized, don't forget your global headers and footers until we bring the conditional options for blocks that will let you basically put any block, but mostly your headers and footers on all the pages with 2 clicks. Until then, you have to have global blocks and add them on all the pages. and we need that as well on this page if we want to have a header and a footer. This is the header of our blog post. So what we will want here, let's see, maybe this will be the title, right, of our blog post. We'll go here and select the post title element, dynamic element. So basically this is the post title. And this is heading 1. Okay, makes sense. I'll just put this on heading 1 as well. I think we don't need this. Let me delete the row here. And then what we need to do is actually add the content of the blog posts. I'll go here in the sidebar and scroll to the WordPress section, and then we'll see posts content, and we just drag it on the page, and you'll see with this new approach where we separate elements, different part of the dynamic content in separate elements. This gives us the opportunity to display here the exact content we have in our blog post. These paragraphs, the images, everything you put here in Gutenberg in your blog posts will be displayed here. We'll go in a second there and make some changes, and I'll show you how you can do it. Of course, here on the content side, you can't modify the actual content because that comes dynamically from your blog post. But you have some options here, and you can control, for example, the typography for every element, the paragraphs, the H1s, the H2s, and things like that. The same goes for the colors. So, for example, if we'd want these paragraphs to be, I don't know, purple, we just put it here, and this will overwrite the styling, the styling that comes from Gutenberg. I'll just go with a dark color for our text, and this is basically our content, right? What I'd want to do here, I think the content is a bit too wide, and usually when you read articles, it's easier to not have this wide text paragraphs because are very hard to read. And what we do there are a couple of ways to do this. We can do it from the block side, so we can modify the width of the block and go like this if we want. Maybe make it 65. Looks pretty nice. Or another option would be to go and add a row. So we'll add a row element in here and have this column dragged here in the row. I'll delete the second column, and on the row options we have a width, and we can control the width for the content. It's basically almost the same thing, but the row gives you certain possibilities, right? You can, for example, put another column here. If we'll duplicate this, for example, and delete the content, we can have a sidebar here with different information, like I don't know, different links, or maybe a banner, a promotion, whatever, or display the sidebars dynamically from WordPress. So there are a lot of creative possibilities, and I advise you to play with it and see what's possible. But for the sake of convenience, I'll just go with only the content right now. 70, I think it's okay. Maybe 60 something, 60, 65. Okay. So this is the content, right? You'll have the content of your blog post, and let's say at the bottom here we want users to go to see posts, right, from a different category, or maybe similar posts from or the latest posts, or things like that. So you'll use this to keep them on your blog, to go through from one article to the other and link them around. So we'll add a blank block, and on this blank block I'll add a dynamic element that is called posts. You know what, let's make the background on this block, make it light gray, just to separate the header, like so. The elements come with the hashtag post title and post excerpt, but you can replace those, and we will replace those soon. When you drag the elements, it will have these shortcodes already, these elements already in there. But I'll just post excerpt. Okay, I'll just drag them from the sidebar. You know what? I think we can leave the read more button and maybe play with it a bit, make it round, or no, large is too large, make it small, and maybe I think the font a bit, align it to the left. Let's put the link on the title to go to the post URL. The image is already set as a featured image from the blog post. I think I'll need some spacers here a bit. And the post dynamic element comes with a couple of more options, or a couple of different options. Of course, you can control the columns and rows if you want to give them more options, more posts to go to. But you can also filter it, right? Now it comes by default as with uncategorized filter selected, but you can, for example, select coding, right? If you want to show them these posts from the coding category, and we have on our list to add here all categories, but I've created the category blog where all the posts are included. So basically, if I select blog category, I'll have the whole pool of posts there. So you can also filter it by ID, title, name, or even make it random. Let's make it random. And let's hit an update. We're in the blog section, and we can go to any of them. I'll just pick the first one. And here is our template in the works. This is the title. We have our 3 minutes read info. When you click it, it will smooth scroll to the content. The content all comes from Gutenberg. So basically, if you have let's say you have clients, right? You'll set up the templates from Brizy, and then they'll just use the regular WordPress Gutenberg to add their content and blog posts, and everything they add there, it will appear here. And of course, our posts that come from the blog category and are randomly picked. That will let you, maybe a title would fit here to latest, or something you might want to read, or latest articles or things like that. This is how you create your blog with Brizy dynamic content. See you in the next one.